The richest man of our time, Jeff Bezos. Today he is the richest man on the planet, and a media mogul who is threatening to send Donald Trump into space. At the age of 30, Jeff Bezos quit his lucrative job on Wall Street to sell books, and recently Jeffrey decided to realize his childhood dream and go into space. For this, he even left his post as head of Amazon. Forbes presents a new video project, Invest Like a Billionaire. It's not easy to make a large fortune, but it's much harder to keep it, and even more difficult to multiply it. Investment bankers and analysts told Forbes about how the world's richest people have achieved success and how their investment strategies and approaches to business differ. The hero of the first episode is the world's richest man, Jeff Bezos. Although now the richest man in the world is Elon Musk. If you want a video about him, write in the comments. Who do you want to talk about? Jeff Bezos, the founder and CEO of Amazon, is often compared to Steve Jobs because of their similarities in the toughness of his management and sharp language. He, like Steve Jobs, is known for being harsh and uncompromising, but perhaps these are the qualities that helped them succeed. We tell the biography of Bezos. How did the businessman build his business empire? What expensive toys he buys? And why did he conquer space? What corporate culture and personnel management principles helped Jeff Bezos turn a non-profitable business into a global giant that sells 40 million goods a day? Keep watching if you want to know the answers to these questions. Have you ever heard of Relentless? You might wonder what an organization whose name translates to relentless or unyielding might be up to. You'd be surprised, but you definitely know this company. Type relentless.com into your browser and it will take you to the website of a corporation whose owner you may not have heard of. That's Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world and founder of the online giant Amazon. Jeff Bezos' biography is a classic success story. He left a career at a third-party company to start his own business, and he began building the Amazon empire with a bookstore in his own garage. The company has now grown into one of the most expensive companies on the planet, with a capitalization of more than $1 trillion. But over the years, Bezos' interests were not limited to work. He bought houses and cars, and invested heavily in the space. Now he's about to take part in his own company's spaceship appetizer, Blue Origin. The life story of Jeff Bezos, from founding his future business empire in his own garage to spaceflight in his own spaceship. See this in my video. The full name of one of the richest men in the world is Jeffrey Preston Bezos. The businessman's date of birth is January 12, 1964. The American billionaire was born in 1964 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Then his mother, Jackie Jays, was only 17 years old, and his father, Ted Jorgensen, 19. The couple separated a year later, and soon after the divorce, Jays remarried. Her second spouse and adoptive father, Jeff Bezos, was Miguel Bezos, a Cuban national. He worked as an engineer for an oil company and adopted the boy, giving him his last name. As a child, Jeff Bezos spent a lot of time at his in-laws' ranch in Texas. There he did all sorts of work, including repairing windmills. In school, Bezos was an excellent student. After graduation, he went to Princeton. Initially, he was attracted to physics, but he soon became interested in computer science and engineering. Jeff Bezos was always interested in technology. So after school, he enrolled at Princeton University in the Department of Electronic Instrumentation and Computer Science. But after graduation, the future businessman decided to focus on starting his own business. As a teenager, Jeff Bezos worked at McDonald's. One of the great gifts I got from that job was that I could crack eggs with one hand. My favorite shift was Saturday mornings. The first thing, I'd take out a big bowl and break 300 eggs into it, he recounted. That's when he started a little summer camp for junior high school students called the Dream Institute. A future entrepreneur graduated from the school as one of the best students. In his graduation speech, he confessed that his dream was to enable mankind to colonize space, to turn the Earth into a huge national park. Time has shown that these may not just be youthful fantasies. In 1986, Bezos graduated with honors from Princeton University with 2 majors, electrical engineer and computer scientist. But he didn't become an engineer. He soon joined a hedge fund. After graduating, Bezos began working on Wall Street and at one point ended up at the Deshaw hedge fund. There Bezos met his future wife, also a Princeton graduate. Mackenzie Bezos studied literature at Princeton. One of her favorite books, Kazuo Ishiguro's The Rest of the Day, is recommended reading for all top Amazon executives today. At 30, Jeff quit his job and moved to Seattle, Washington, where he decided to start his own business. In 2010, speaking to Princeton students, Bezos recalled approaching his boss and saying he wanted to start a bookstore. The boss invited Bezos for a walk in Central Park, listened carefully and said that the idea was great, of course, but it would be even better if it belonged to someone who didn't have as good a job as Jeff did. Bezos couldn't disagree with that logic. He asked to be given 48 hours to think about it. Then he quit. To Princeton students, Bezos said he wouldn't regret it if the bookstore idea didn't work out, but he would never forgive himself if he didn't try at all. Before 1994, Jeff Bezos worked for various companies and even served as vice president of D.E. Shaw Co. But the idea of his own business never left him. So in the summer of 1994, he left his post and founded Amazon.com, an online store. Initially, the store specialized in selling books with a major feature over competitors. That feature was the delivery of books to any reader anywhere. One of the qualities of Jeff Bezos that helped the company succeed was that he always made sure that books were delivered in neat packaging. It was also important to him that customers were always notified of new products and could read reviews from those who had already read the book. It was a bookstore whose office was right in the garage of its founder. Bezos was given $300,000 in startup capital by his parents. I found a house to put the business in because it had a garage. There are a lot of stories about how startup companies started in a garage, so it seemed like the right place for me to start. The Amazon founder recounted. What happened next, Bezos was the first to use data sets to sell books. Before that, bookstores and publishers had not kept any information about their customers and were guided more by intuition about which books would be popular. Bezos' ambition stretched far beyond bookselling. It was just a way to get names and data, a channel to attract customers. Soon Amazon went from being a bookstore to being a store of everything. Amazon also had another important advantage. It sold books cheaper than its competitors. What was the secret of success? All sales were conducted through the internet. And in the United States, states could not charge tax on the purchase if the seller was not physically present on their territory. This practice has recently been abolished. Thus, Amazon customers who lived outside of Washington state did not pay taxes on their purchases. In general, at the beginning, Amazon was a very secret company. No one really knew how many employees it had or where its warehouses were located. Over time, both the company and Bezos became more public. Within a quarter of a century, the small garage store had grown into an empire. Jeff Bezos' company is now worth more than $1.5 trillion. It now controls 42% of paper book sales, a third of the streaming video market, and early half of the cloud computing market. While it had no more than a dozen employees in its early days, Amazon now employs more than 1 million people. Through the platform, you can buy not only books, but also food, medicine, household appliances, and products for children. Jeff Bezos' company has gained a strong foothold in the market. In 2011, Amazon went beyond consumer products and invaded the online video market. It became a competitor to Netflix, the biggest player in that market. Amazon's best-known TV series are The Boys, Good Intentions, Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams, Dick and the Show Grand Tour. In addition, work is underway on a series of the Lord of the Rings universe. In 2014 came Alexa, an electronic voice-activated home assistant connected to Amazon Echo smart speakers. Together they can talk to the owner, make to-do lists, set alarms, play music and audiobooks, as well as report the weather and traffic. As Amazon's capitalization approached $1 trillion, Jeff Bezos increasingly stepped out of the shadows. Collages comparing his contemporary photos to those from the early days of Amazon became an inexhaustible source of memes and jokes. Through this, even a meme song was invented by famous comedian Burnham, which you can even hear on my second channel, link in the description. But the success of Amazon wasn't enough for Jeff Bezos. He decided to realize his childhood dream and explore space. To do this, he founded the company Blue Origin. The main idea was to help create a future where millions of people will live and work in space for the benefit of the Earth. On July 20, 2021, the company will carry out its first space launch with tourists on board. The company's spacecraft, called the New Shepard, will be sent into space, and Bezos, as well as his brother Mark, is going to be among the first passengers. A place on the spacecraft was sold not just like that, but at an auction. They fought for it for several weeks, and as a result, the right to fly into space with Jeff Bezos was sold under the hammer for $28 million. The name of the winner is unknown. He eventually turned down the July 20th flight because it didn't coincide with his personal schedule, and decided to go into space on the second launch. Joining the team instead was 18-year-old Oliver Damon, the son of Dutch billionaire owner of Somerset Capital Partners investment firm Jos Damon. Initially, his father bought himself a ticket for the second launch of the spaceship with tourists, but then he gave up the ticket in favor of his son. When the winner of the auction decided not to go into space on the 20th, the right to join the crew went to Damon. He would become the young astronaut to fly into space. Billionaire Jeff Bezos was supposed to become the first person in the world to fly into space in his own company's ship, but those plans were never going to happen. A British competitor, Virgin Galactic founder Richard Branson, learning about Bezos' plan, decided to get ahead of him. On July 9, days earlier than the founder of Blue Origin, he flew with his Unity rocket plane 86 kilometers above the Earth's surface and experienced weightlessness. But despite the failure, Blue Origin still has big plans for the future. Bezos also bought the Washington Post newspaper and is regularly criticized by its editorial board and, in addition, by the current President of the United States, Donald Trump. In another exchange of barbs on Twitter, Bezos promised Trump that he would book a seat for him in one of the Blue Origin rockets, the Amazon founder's personal private space project. Bezos accompanied the tweet with the caustic hashtag #SendDonaldToSpace. However, Bezos takes Blue Origin very seriously. In order not to distract from space projects, he even entrusted other people with the management of Amazon projects in retail, as well as cloud services. The latter, Amazon Web Services, is now Amazon's most profitable segment. So if you think $1 trillion in capitalization and $2,000 a share is the limit, consider the following. Amazon provides cloud storage for Netflix, Snapchat, Dropbox, and other fast-growing companies and startups. And during a gold rush, as we know, the most profitable thing to do is sell shovels. Here's a little motivation from Jeff Bezos' supercars, yachts, planes, and homes. Billionaire Jeff Bezos is known for his predilections for expensive cars, yachts, and real estate. Although he has long driven old cars, Bezos is known for his luxurious collection of super expensive cars. His arsenal includes a $3 million Ferrari Pininfarina Sergio. He also occasionally drives a Bugatti Veyron Mansory for $3.7 million, W Motors Lykan Hypersport for $4 million, Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita for $4.8 million, Lamborghini Veneno for $5 million. The most expensive of his cars is the Rolls-Royce Swepto, which cost him $13 million. Jeff Bezos also has a private jet for $65 million, and recently it was learned that he is going to build a sailing yacht with an additional vessel and a helipad for $500 million. It is being built at the Ocean Coast shipyard in the Netherlands. At the same time, the maintenance of the ship will be a separate, very expensive item of expenditure, about 10% of its cost per year. The billionaire owns a lot of luxury real estate. One of Jeff Bezos' homes is the former Textile Museum in Washington, and the largest building in the city. The total value of the mansion of more than 2.5 thousand square meters exceeded $35 million. And Bezos recently bought the luxurious Warner Estate mansion in Beverly Hills for $165 million. This is a record amount for real estate in Los Angeles and its suburbs. The estate was designed in the 1930s for Warner Brothers Jack Warner. The property has terraces, gardens, several guest houses, a tennis court, and a golf course. This is probably the mansion where Jeff Bezos is going to live with Lauren Sanchez. Shortly before that, he bought 3 apartments in New York for $80 million, their total area exceeding 1,500 square meters. In clothing, the richest man on the planet prefers a smart casual style. Jeff Bezos' closet consists of leather jackets, sleeveless jackets, straight jeans, and polos, more often than not, identifying most of the brands, with the exception of sneakers, tends to be difficult. But Bezos is occasionally spotted wearing Prada sandals and Brunello Cucinelli or kitten jackets. The richest man on the planet complements his image with luxury accessories. For example, he has Ulysse Nardin dual time watch for almost $13,000 and premium sunglasses Garrett Leet Van Buren. It was a fantastic success story of Jeffrey Bezos, a real billionaire and dreamer. Thank you for watching. Love and good luck to you.